My last question today comes from Michelle, who says, I'm wanting some tips on finding prints that make me look great. What should I be looking for? So again, colour is one place to start. So when we're thinking about prints, we want to think about, does the print go with my colour palette? So for example, and I hold up this intriguing palette and this pattern, you can see that this goes together very easily. So it wants to work with your colour palette, number one. Number two is, what is your value contrast? So when we're thinking about value contrast, do you have a lower value contrast like this print, which is just little dots, or a higher value contrast like this one? So when we look at these, you can see that one is dark with light dots, so that is a higher value contrast. This one is lighter with light dots, so it is a lower value contrast. Which of these looks better on you? And this relates to your ideal value as well. So if you're overall lighter, you'll find that maybe this is better. But if you have dark eyes, then say a light print but with dark dots would be better for you. Versus if you have darker hair and a darker ideal value and fairer skin, then this is going to work better for you. So we want to think about our ideal value, and we want to think too about our value contrast and what value contrast we're looking for. And then we want to think about our colour contrast. So how many colours are natural within us? How many colours do we have in us already? So are we a multicoloured person? So we've got red hair and green eyes, and peachy skin, or maybe we've got golden blonde hair and blue eyes. Then they are going to be people who wear more colours better. Versus if you are kind of shades of brown and beige, so brown hair, brown eyes, beige skin, you're going to look better in just a one colour pattern rather than a multicoloured pattern. So when we're thinking about this, it's, do I want fewer colours or do I want more colours? So both of these work beautifully with my Serene palette, but it's which version of this is for you. So we want to think about those elements of colour, ideal value, and colour contrast. Then we want to think about, what do I look like? So what is my overall scale? Am I a small scale person? Therefore, I'll want a smaller scale pattern. Am I more medium scale? I can go for a medium scale print. Or am I a large scale? I can therefore work with a larger scale print. Now, if you're a petite person, a larger scale print, and this is kind of more medium scale, but this is going to probably start overwhelming someone who's petite versus this one isn't. But this one is too small for someone who's larger scale. It'll look itty bitty and a bit ridiculous. They should go with something medium to larger. So we want to think about our overall body scale and also our facial feature scale. So how large are your facial features? If you've got big eyes, a large mouth, I always think Julia Roberts is a great example of someone who's got a big wide mouth. Barbara Streisand is somebody who's got a great example of large facial features. She's got big open eyes. She's got a larger scale nose, larger scale mouth. She looks better in a bigger print. Versus, say, Taylor Swift is someone who's got petite features and therefore is going to look better in more petite, smaller scale prints. So that is another thing we want to think about as well. And then there's the personality of the print. So are you more feminine and you may prefer florals, or are you more elegant chic and you may prefer repeating geometrics? Are you someone who loves stripes? That's someone who's more relaxed or more classic. Are you someone who likes more digital creative prints? So more creative. Are you someone who likes an animal print? More dramatic. So we want to think about, how dramatic the print might be, how feminine, elegant, chic, relaxed. All these things come into it. Our personality is also key for choosing prints, as well as our features. And then also with our features, we're thinking about, what are my features like? Do I have more angular features? If I do, then I'm better in more angular prints. Do I have more curved features? Then I'm better in more curved prints. Do I have a combination of angular and curved features? Then I'm better in something that has some angles and some curves, neither being an extreme. So these are some of the things we're looking for with prints. So if you've gone, I struggle finding prints, or I struggle finding these things, you can actually see that there's quite a lot of elements that go into finding great prints that work for you. And this is why you may have struggled. And this is where getting that style education is so useful, because without it, we struggle to know which are the right colors, which are the shapes, which are the styles, what is the scale. All this is in my 7 Steps to Style program, and that's where I give you the full style education that you never got at school, because it can feel overwhelming, and trying to decide this on your own can be tricky versus getting some professional input certainly makes life faster and easier. It's a fast track to finding your style. Rather than, you can DIY it, absolutely, but it's just generally a slower track. So if that's something you're interested in, really learning what works for you, I'd love to have you in the program. And thank you so much for being here. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye for now.